glad that to have this segment. And thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for each and every support. We're always grateful. Remember that this segment in it will be the headlines, so this way we are always here to discuss some of the issues ambazo zimekuwa zikiendelea, and tunazianalyze na pia tunakuwa informed kiasi. So welcome so much, and we are always glad to have one of our own from our county, our city, Nakuru City, that is Kim. So karibu sana.
Asante bwana Kimodho.
Yeah.
Nashukuru sana kunita katika studio za Mizpah TV.
Yes.
Asubuhi ya leo tukifurahia uwepo wa uhai wetu kutoka kwa Mwenyezi Mungu. Na hali ya anga ambayo ni tulivu. So I'm very grateful, especially talking to our Nakurians from Mizpah TV. Mizpah is a program, or rather it's a station that has grown wide and large. It's being watched and observed from here in Nakuru, across our borders. I remember the last time we had some comments coming from some guy called Traject Karanja. He is the proprietor of Traject Real Estate. He's a land valuer, but he runs Traject Real Estate that deals with the sales of land. Currently dealing with the sales of land in Elementaita, Lake Elementaita. Around there, they have gated communities called Vatican Homes. So I'm very grateful, bwana Kimodho.
Karibu sana. So maybe umepotea sana. Salimia viewers, and then ukishawasalimia patie the updates ambazo zimekuweko in our county. And then now we can proceed. Yes, hello our viewers. I'm delighted to be here at Mizpah TV. And Nakuru is progressing well, bwana Kimodho. Led by our governor, Susan Keheka, the Department of Agriculture, led by Waziri Bor, his two CEOs, bwana Newton Maura and bwana Cheruyot. I saw was it last week but one. They were spreading and supplying rams and ewes from the Dopa breed of sheep. This is meant to better our meat productivity, wool productivity, and especially when we are dealing with Dopas, we are talking about good meats. Remember, proteins, the cost of proteins is shooting up every now and then. So we thank our governor, we thank the Department of Agriculture for that kind of initiative, so that our farmers can produce more and within a shorter period of time, and have better product at the very end of the day. Yesterday we hosted our president. He was at Gilgil in a pass out parade. And it reminded me of the hardship preparation of Kenyans. Kitambo watu wakimaliza form 4 walikuwa naingia NYS kabla waingie university. So when I saw NYS and the kind of formations they were making during their graduation, I say kudos to them. And our country is progressing, bwana Kimodho. If you remember where we were several years ago and where now NYS is, NYS is like now a total disciplined police force. So it's quite a good progress. And while there, the president assured us of the commencement of the Mau Summit Rironi Road, which is going to absorb so many Kenyans and so many Nakurians, for that matter. And some people are asking me that people have gotten into politics. No, it's not just politics. Rironi Mau Summit Road is a mega project for Nakurians and for the country at large. And if the brief the president gave us was right, remember they are going to broaden Mai Mahi Road and also the current road as it is. So it's a big plus for us in Nakuru. Despite a few cases of insecurities here and there. It's very sad. I've realized in Joro, River Darugu, we are talking of a third body being retrieved from the river. We are talking of insecurities in Barnabas. In broad daylight, gangs are approaching well-to-do Kenyans, stabbing them and robbing them of their belongings. There is some spread of and resurgence of criminal gangs. MRM in Mombasa, Kwale. We are talking of the bandits in Baringo, West Pokot and Turkana. Something needs to be done. But we thank our county commissioner, Bwana Leford Kibara, and his team, because relatively Nakuru is calm. Despite those few cases of robbery here and there, we are in a relatively calm county. We also have some con men and con ladies who like doing their magic jobs beneath
Kanu House.
Kanu House.
I can assure you that your days are numbered. You cannot be robbing our old mamas, old babas. Ati unagoja mtu akiingia town unamapproach na hizo mabrochua zenu. Shindwe.
It's very bad.
Very bad bwana Kimodho.
You know to target atusemi watu wasifanye biashara, but at the same time it's not good to do extortion from Kenyans.
It's very bad.
It is not
especially
good.
When you're lying to old mamas who cannot tell A from B and an apple from an orange. It's so bad.
So thank you for those updates.
Asante sana.
And you know the whole of this week tumeona that is kumekuwa kuna one of the main issue naona imekuwa ikiangazia sana Katiba at 15.
Katiba at 15.
Our new constitution, it was very good. I remember nikiona hiyo promulgation ambayo ilikuwa pale.
Exactly.
In fact hiyo siku niliona that is the likes of Raila Odinga, that is
Mwai Kibaki. Exactly.
Akina Charity Ngilu, Martha Karua, and Anyang' Nyong'o.
Exactly.
Wale watu ambao tuliona that is wakipigania, they were so happy that such like finally
we've gotten what we have been fighting for.
We have made it. And you know now the funny thing na some of these structures even if uli defend ama huku defend once ilipitishwa,
it favors you, it works for you, it guides you as well.
We remember even
and you're supposed to be obedient to it.
Yes, even now our president that time alikuwa anayopose now with the churches and everything else. But now after 15 years tumeona that is gazette pia walikuwa wameweza kuangazia, even the whole nation walikuwa najaribu kuangazia. Tuliona different people wakijaribu kuanalyze if the government imekuwa follow the law, if ourselves we have been able now to understand the issue of devolution. How is devolution helping us, how is it assisting us, imekuwa ikitumika vizuri ama na njia mambo kama hayo. Maybe we can just try to talk about
it's been a journey and a good journey for that matter bwana Kimodho. And we must look back and really congratulate those who began the journey to our new constitution. We remember the aggression, remember all these things began in I watched bwana Lawrence Karanja. Wakili Lawrence Karanja tried to take us through the journey towards Katiba 2010. And it began all the way from 1982 when we had an attempted coup against the president. Then he went to parliament and had some strengthening measures on the constitution. But we used to have the Mulolongo kind of elections, and they were not very fair. The longest was the shortest was the longest when it came to the announcement of the results. And it really agitated the opposition then. And they came up with a way of agitating Kenyans that no, we have to change the way things are done. They had to change a few things here and there. We moved from Lolongo now to elections, and the formation of ECK, where they agreed that after the Mololongo and the repealing of Section 2A that allowed the multipartism, we had the current president then, President Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, beating the opposition twice in hotly contested elections, and in the two. The first one he won by 30%, and the second one he won by 40%, and the rest, the bulk of the votes were in the opposition. The previous case, 70% went to Akina Mwai Kibaki, Akina Raila Amolo Odinga. Then the huge number of opposition members that he had, and upon a review of how things were happening, like in parliament, you could see that even after getting 30% and 40% respectively, President Moi had the sole choice of appointing or rather nominating members of parliament, additional nominated members of parliament alone, single-handedly. And again, even when ECK was formed, the formation of ECK was solely again his duty. But upon a review, the opposition introduced the issue of let's contribute a few members. You also contribute a few members into ECK, and we come up with a body that you can trust and we can also trust. So they came up with the ECK. Remember the struggle of IPPG, the Timothy Joyas and the like. And we congratulate them wherever they are. And then we came to the multipartism was now fully adopted, but it has been strengthened over time. Then it came the issue of the nomination issues, the now the opposition agreed that we are going to nominate people into parliament depending on our numbers in parliament. That's where now you could get other political parties other than KANU nominating members into parliament. So democracy grew. It kept on growing upon the strengthening of the constitution. But again, was it 2090, after 1997, there was now a bigger call for a constitutional review. Remember, even when when Moi was being beaten by Moi Kibaki and the team, when Raila Amolo Odinga said Kibaki tosha, they promised the Kenyans that within 100 days, one of the major things they were going to deliver was a new constitution. And they did so. Because once they got into office, they began. You remember the bombers team. Then they talked about the whole thing. But again, they emerged some problem because they trusted that Parliament would do that. But Timothy Joya ran to court and stopped the whole thing and said that this cannot happen without the involvement of Wajiko. And the issue of Wajiko came up, and the issue of referendum. So in 2005, we had our first referendum. But the brigade that was in government then, remember the Kalonzo Musyokas, the Uhuru Kenyatta, actually the KANU team, the KANU Brad and Raila Amolo Odinga had then had his tractor swallowed by the cockerel. So the entire team of KANU defended, or rather did not want changes in the constitution. So they defeated the referendum 2005. Then they came the Yash Palgai team. They started talking about remember the wako draft. Then Raila Amolo Odinga said, "What will likiviza katiba Kilifi wakenda kainajisi." So it has been a journey. And in 2010, we had we did a referendum, and then the new constitution was promulgated. And Bwana Kimotho, we are where we are courtesy of Katiba 2010, especially devolution. If there is anything good that this Katiba has brought to this country, it's devolution. Yes, we have issues of devolved criminality, devolved corruption and all that, but I still believe that those are issues that we can deal with as we go along. But we really have to celebrate our Katiba 2010. Yes, there are a few people, a few elements here and there who are not happy with the Katiba. They keep talking, but all we need to do is to better what we have. It's a journey. We cannot begin afresh. I hear some other people talking about terms and all that. It's not necessary for this particular time. But those who are going against the Katiba, like we have seen some people transferring money. Government money into non-existent hospitals here and there, and that is against the law. That is against the PFM Act. It's against the country's constitution, and they should be held accountable. However big vehicles they drive, however senior they think they are. And the president is very firm in the fight against the graft. And if anybody thinks that he's joking, watch the space ahead. President William Ruto is no joker when it comes to fight against the graft. And I can assure them, we've seen charges being preferred against the Bomet governor, Bwana Barchok. We have a case ongoing. Currently, the Kericho governor is fighting it rough in the Senate, where he has to explain a number of things, and I could watch his and the wakilis against him, and they have a case. They have a case to answer.
And especially now, when we speak now about the new constitution, the best thing that people did not understand, because I remember that time Raila used to speak of serikali ya majimbo. And people were against it because they were unable to understand.
They could not understand this majimbo.
What is majimbo? What does it mean? But we now, the new constitution wakati na ilikuwa inakuja, a bit of civic education. At least they tried now to
explain to Kenyans,
to the people. But we can now understand now the benefits of devolution.
That is it.
Because now, you know, so there are some other structures, kuna mambo mengine ama other services that you utazipata kwa the governor. Instead now of, you know, going a long way now to Nairobi.
To Nairobi to seek
the other services that the MCAs can be able now to handle.
Definitely.
So it means that there are very good advantages and there are positive things about now the new constitution of devolution. Then we also have now the other commissions. We have like the IEBC, the judiciary.
Exactly.
We have the anti-corruption
independent commissions.
They're all independent. The ORPP and so many other things. We can see sometimes wanafanya some of the decision. They don't have necessarily now to to seek permission from the executive.
No.
They do their own, especially now the EACC. Wakifanya investigation, you as a governor, you are as a MP, you as the CS, umekuwa criminalized na this issue.
Exactly, they just hand over the case to DPP.
So ukiangalia now the new constitution imetuletea vitu mzuri. Zikikuwa strengthen na ziache kuwa weekend by some of the forces pale. We have one of the best constitutions.
Sure, Bwana Kimotho, and majorly, if you remember under the previous constitution, the president then, who was the head of state, could direct development only in those areas where they favored him during elections. Those areas that denied him votes, he also denied them development. I think the only mistake that we did, that we need to also to review, when we came up with the new constitution, majority of our previous districts adopted the name county. For example, Nakuru had the north district and the like. It became Nakuru County. Nyandarua was a district. It became Nyandarua County. I think we now need to review depending on the population. Remember, Raila Amolo Odinga has already hinted that no, we have 47 counties are way too many for us. But I think if we can we can remove aspects of corruption and the like, this is the best mode of governance under the new constitution that we really need. For those who do not vote for the president of the day, they still get development.
They do.
For those who furnish him with enough votes, they still enjoy the same kind of development. And Bwana Kimotho, for the first time, and it's good that they kept talking about Wajiko in Bomas of Kenya. For the first time under the new constitution, Wajiko has a say of what is to be done in his or in her locality. Initially, you could get an MP come to your area and build a cattle dip. Yet nobody was interested in the cattle dip because they were not even consulted. I think they were only consulting the chief and the DO. And if the DO happens to be a hardware owner or has a relative who sells some iron sheets and some building blocks, then he prefers a project that will absorb those things from his shop or his business. So Wajiko's voice has found a place in the Katiba 2010. Public participation has been given priority. Only that we need to keep bettering our public participations to make it meaningful and to add value to the kind of end product that we get. Because sometimes you go to Kenyans, they are unaware of whatever they are discussing. Yes, they have been called in large numbers. Indeed, they know that after the session they will get a soda and some ticket home. So all that they are interested in all the time they are in the hall is what they are going to get at the end of the day, and where they will append their signatures and of course put their ID number, not knowing and unaware of the documents that is going to be attached to the attendance list. Is a huge document that is going to impact heavily on their lives. So I think and I appreciate the input that is being done by a number of NGOs here in Nakuru. We have Midriff Taharinet led by Akina Omondi and Mwanagedai, and they're doing a very good job training, giving civic education to Kenyans and preparing them better for better public participations now and in the future. CDGG is also doing the same. They're doing a very good job in training and offering civic education to Kenyans. But the government is not doing much in terms of civic education. So we urge them, because they have the resources. If they do not have within their budget, they better have in the coming budget. And they can also solicit funds from well-wishers so that we can have meaningful civic education for better results in public participation.
And it is good now to inform our viewers that today we are trying now to analyze the issue of the constitution, because it is something that it has been imekuwa celebrated during the week, and it is also something that people need to be educated. They need now to understand.
That is
it doesn't as long as you're a Kenyan, it is always good now to be able to understand the issue of constitution, because sometimes unaweza jipata in the wrong hand
of the law.
At the same time unaweza jipata at the same time maybe your rights zimekuwa violated without you knowing, and so many other things. And that is the Gen Z, they were trying to exercise their constitution. The only thing that hawajakuwa guided, because to some you can imagine, especially now wale watu walikuwa born during the Kibaki's regime, so they have no experience.
They do not understand what was there previously.
So most of them, they were born and they were raised under
the new constitution. Exactly.
So to the old school guys, they still have now the two-sided, the old one, the new one. But how
they have a moment of appreciating
purely their mind imekuwa
the new constitution.
That's why unaona a 10-year-old, 15-year-old atakwambia about the rights zake.
That is it.
And then you wonder ni mambo gani ambayo yako pale. So it's also high time that also now our government come up with more civic education.
That is it.
Either zirudisho pale shuleni pia, so that people now can be well educated.
That is it.
Pia walete to other forums, especially hata kama ni forums each and every leader ambayo ako nazo.
Exactly.
It's always good to educate people, because sometimes kuna watu wanakuwa affected na some of these issues ambazo ziko pale. Then it is very unfair to speak about the new constitution and tusipoangazia the one gender rule. Unajua kitambo, especially now the ladies walikuwa walikuwa najulikana hao tu na kukaa kwa boma under the old traditional ways. But the new constitution ikakuja ikaleta the issues,
the equity and equality,
representation, the issue now to do with some of the position ya women rep pale, wakona representation pale, na pia na so many other rights ambazo zimekuwa pale. So kuna hiyo pia the new constitution iliweza kuleta ili kuweze kwenda ile the equitable.
That is it. And when it comes to gender, and it's something that we have to appreciate, especially for us here in Nakuru, where our governor comes from the female gender, and quite a number of MPs, Joro, Bahati here, Gilgil, we have women representing people in parliament. I think it's something that was allowed, was born, or rather bred under the new constitution. And we only knew very few women then who are agitating for changes, for good governance and all that. But today the field is flooded with women, very, very, very witty women, beginning with our governor here. And it was a very good idea, because we've seen very good contributions coming from such women. We had Wangari Maathai, where our forest today, remember, she kept telling us that one day, Bwana Kimodo, you'll buy a liter of water more expensively than a liter of diesel or petrol. And that's where we are now. So stop cutting your trees, and if you cut one, make sure that you plant 7 or 11. Exactly.
So thank you so much.
Asante.
I think there were so many other stories that tungeweza kuangazia. There was a story of the issue of Shakahola.
And this Shakahola thing,
corruption,
when you hear of people being taken to some fasting sessions, and then all of a sudden they are found dead, one thing that comes to my mind is that fasting has a way of purifying somebody's body. I think they purify the bodies before they can do organ harvesting. We urge the security organs that are in charge of our security to really dive deep into this particular issue. It is something that we have not experienced here in the country before. So it's a horror, just like the name suggests, Shaka horror.
Now because to the effect of time, just now the issue of Shaka horror is because now of spiritual manipulation.
That is it.
And it is something that needs to be addressed. But here Mizpah House of Prayer, what because we have classes ambayo inafunza people now to the issue of prayer,
that is
now
it.
to do now the issue of the word of God.
That is it.
So if you feel that in the place that where you are, you feel that kuna contradiction of this, please just come to
Mizpah. Kuja ombea hapa.
Patia guidance.
That is it. And the environment is quite good. I like the way you have taken care of the environment. I can have a good look of different species of trees, different species of birds. I really love the environment at the Mizpah TV and the Mizpah environment, that is.
So now due to kwa sababu ya masaa, maybe you can say something to our viewers as we wind up.
Bwana Kimotho, as I leave, I will go to Subukia. I like meeting some guy called Patrick Budhia there. He teaches me and takes me through the use of Biovita foliar spray. And he told me that they have now different categories of the same foliar spray. They have those that are used for general wellness of the plant. There are those that they use for strengthening the root, the flowering, development of fruits and hardening and making the fruits bigger before harvesting. So I want to get more knowledge about that. And I really appreciate some job that is being done by some church in Shabab, PCA church. That is rehabilitation of our alcoholics and those who have indulged into so much use of drugs. They're doing some rehab for such. That is at PCA Shabab. It's a team led by Mombi and her team. We really appreciate whatever they are doing. Thank you, Bwana Kimotho, for calling me here.
Thank you so much, Kim, and thank you for coming to our station.
Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you so much. We really value that time ambao umetupatia hapa. So to our viewers, thank you so much, and may you have a blessed weekend. Thank you for always being there for us. You can always leave your comments. You can always share to us what any view ambao umekuwa nayo. And remember that Mizpah TV it is being broadcasted from here, Mizpah House of Prayer. Always come and come and enjoy the word of God. Kuja na pia upate ujuzi zaidi ya mafunzo kulingana na kazi ya Mungu. So thank you so much. Have a blessed weekend.